My name is Virginia Ward, and I'm here to talk to you about how to coach and mentor female youth workers. Now, you might say coaching and mentoring, aren't they the same thing? And I would beg to say no. Over the years, I have been blessed with men and women who have poured into me and who've also demanded some things of me. They coached me in one way and they mentored me in another. And I'd like to share with you a few tips about how you can do that, especially with female youth workers and in the realm of youth ministry. When I think of the word mentor, I think of someone who's a guide along the side. And it reminds me of someone who is imparting something into someone else. Generally, a mentor is someone who is very experienced. They come with a wealth of information. And their goal is to keep imparting and depositing that information into a mentee. A coach, on the other hand, is someone who draws out of an individual. A coach is someone who takes the time and watches and observes. And not saying a mentor doesn't do this, but a coach, their purpose, their goal is to pull out of that person, to pull out of that youth leader. And for female youth leaders, since we are a little different, there are things that I believe God has uniquely placed within us, and it requires the right coach to be able to draw it out of us. So what are some of the ways and some of the things that we can do to mentor and then coach? So let me start with mentoring. I was blessed to have a mentor, and his name is Dean Borgman. And Dean is an older gentleman, and he eats and sleeps and drinks youth ministry. And he's one of the rare ones who has served as a mentor, who would just continually deposit information and continually challenge me. Have I read this? Have I looked at this study? And he challenged me to not just be a practitioner, but also to study to show myself approved. He mentored me in ways where I don't know if I would have learned those things had he not mentored me, had he not been that wise guide along the side. But he also at times served as a coach where he would draw things out of me. And he would say, Virginia, you're not just called to minister to women, you're also called to minister and to share with men. You're not just called to just do the urban, understand suburban, understand rural. So he drew out of me even areas, and he told me to look at youth ministry holistically. So I didn't just look at that young person, but to look at their family and to study their environment and to be more holistic. And he drew that out of me. He didn't just allow me to stay in my comfort zone. Like any good coach will, they cause us and draw us out. So here are some ways that I believe that can be helpful to you to help mentor. So let me start first with the mentoring side of it. A good mentor knows how to ask good questions. A good mentor will not only ask of you what it is you want to accomplish, but a good mentor will then take you places and say, okay, if you want to understand and know about youth ministry, let me take you somewhere and come to conferences like this, UIWI, Urban Youth Workers Institute, and to see what it means to be an urban youth worker and to rub elbows, as it were, with other youth workers. A good mentor will also not just ask questions, but a good mentor will stretch you beyond your capacity and to say, here's something to read that might be above what you're normally reading. Here's something to read that will stretch you out of your comfort zone. And a good mentor will allow you and cause you to say, don't just stay on point A, but now move to point B. A good mentor wants to see you progress in your thinking and learning. A good mentor also will be present with you. They will take time to face. And I know I have had some mentors in my life, as well as you may have had, that were from afar, that didn't live near you. But those mentors really didn't get to know me as well as those who I could sit down and have a spot of tea with, or those mentors that I could break bread with and allow them to get into my soul. Because they not only ask questions about me, but they ask questions and about what I did, but they ask questions about where I was going. So let me talk to you about coaching. So a good coach is able to assess, and their assessment comes from knowing who you are, but also knowing where you're going. So a coach can assess, you have these skills, you have these capabilities, you have these capacities. Let me put you in this environment and then encourage you along the way so that they can draw out of you what's there. I know at times Dean Borgman would turn down some workshops, so he would say, Virginia, I want you to do this workshop. I want you to come and teach this class with me. So he could draw out of me what was there. At times, we don't know what's in us, but a good coach will draw it out of you. And so Dean assessed and said, okay, you have this skill, you have these capabilities. Now I want to stretch. I want to work those muscles, as it were. And I was really grateful for that. So as a coach, I want to encourage you to draw out and to stretch the muscles of the people that you're working with. Also, a good coach not only just draws out of you, but a good coach will create a great environment, a learning environment in particular, so that you can grow into it. So some of those learning environments might be for a youth worker. If they're used to only serving in one area, maybe with children, maybe you stretch them a bit and you put them with teens. If they're used to working with just teen females, you put them with teen males so that they can grow into a new space and so that environment can be safe for them. Also, you create safe environments by inviting them into other learning communities and inviting other youth leaders around them so that they can share knowledge and best practices. So maybe your church is urban and you serve this way. Maybe you would take a group of youth leaders with you to a suburban church and to see another environment and to put them into a learning environment so that they can grow and learn something different. It's easy to stay in our comfort zones. But a great coach isn't going to let you stay there. One of the things that I really appreciate about mentoring and about coaching, when the two come together, it's a good space to also reflect upon, where am I? What is God doing? And what is He requiring of me? So I would encourage you to take the time to be present, to stretch, to assess the people you're working with. Take the time to mentor, to pour information, to impart information into, as well as to coach, to draw things out of the youth workers you're working with. God bless you on your journey.